Sam, I hear of networking quite a bit these days. How significant is networking as a leadership skill? Any tips on building a strong network?
Divya, network reminds me of the cell phone. What use is a cell phone if only two people are there in the network? But if 2 million people or 200 million people join the network, that cell phone becomes a very powerful tool in your hand. And it's the same for us human beings. We need to network. It's not only what you know, it is equally who you know that helps you succeed. You have no idea whose help you will require at which stage. I think it was Paul Coelho who said, remember, the whole world is conspiring to help you. But the world will conspire to help you if only you have connections in the world. So I think networking is a vital aspect of leadership development. So ask yourself a question, now, what kind of company do I keep? Am I spending time with people more competent than I, more knowledgeable than I, more able than I? Because if I'm doing that, just as all the boats rise when the water rises, so will I rise when I spend time with people more capable than I. I can then learn from them. And once you are in the midst of people more capable than you, more often than not, you will be equally inspired and motivated to do more, to learn more, to try harder, etc. So here's a question for you. Do you have a board of directors, a personal board of directors? Do you have 5 people? You know, companies have boards of directors. So do you have 5 people who you really would like to report to and who you would never like to upset, who you would like to make them feel that you're doing the right thing, that you are on the right track, and that you are really building yourself by being in touch? So a board of directors is a great way, and you can have a personal board of directors, you can have a professional board of directors, and that's very, very important. How many thought leaders in your chosen profession do you know or do you know about? Now, when I say know, I don't mean that you have to know that person personally or those persons personally. You just got to know about what they do. Howard Gardner is one thought leader who has written more about influencing thinking and multiple intelligences from Harvard Business School than anyone I know of. Now, I read everything that Howard writes. I hear every speech that Howard gives. So I don't know Howard personally. But by virtue of keeping in touch with his writings and his thoughts, I think I'm connected with that thought leader. So don't kid yourself into thinking, oh, well, you know, I don't know these guys. You don't have to know them. Today, the internet provides you access to anything and everything you like. How often do you listen or read about what these guys write, about what these thought leaders write? When was the last time you participated in an industry conference or a seminar where you were not just attending, but also speaking? Because it's as important as it is to be learning, it's equally important to be giving. I think it's Narayana Murthy who said at a commencement speech that, you know, we all have eaten from the fruits of trees laid by others. It's now time for us to, you know, plant trees whose fruits others will eat. And it's about when you speak at a conference, when you speak at a seminar, you're disseminating knowledge. You're giving knowledge, you're providing knowledge, you're sharing knowledge. And that will raise your stature. That is part of networking. You will be better known in the industry, and that will provide you with on a platform which is much higher and more powerful than before. It's only then that your clients and your senior executives in your own company and in the industry will want to listen to you. So ask yourself that question. What steps are you taking to be good enough to be asked to speak at conferences? Because no one's going to ask you to speak unless you have a solid message to give. So what are you doing to develop yourself? What are you doing to bring new knowledge? That is part of the networking. And the real acid test of networking is how often do your peers reach out to you to seek your advice and opinions? Not just your bosses, but your peers, because your peers know you better than anyone else. So if your peers often call upon you, seek your advice, seek ideas from you, then you're probably well networked and you're probably worth a lot more. So my suggestion about networking is make sure that you network with a lot of people, people who are better than you. Make sure that you speak at conferences, attend conferences, keep in touch with thought leaders, know what they're talking about, what's going on in their lives, their professional lives, And do your peers really care enough about you to lead, to ask you to lead and ask you for advice and questions?